Hello, welcome to episode 46 of Hello Church. I'm Wade Bearden.
And I am Justin Trapp, and today we're going to be going over 11 Easter sermon series ideas that you can walk your people through getting ready for Easter. Now, at Ministry Pass, we publish over 20 sermon series every month. We have a ton of Easter sermon series and Easter standalone messages, Easter Sunday. And so what we wanted to do today is just take a look at 11 of those, because I know when you go to the site and you just do a search for Easter, there's going to be just a ton of results. But we felt like it would be helpful for you, especially as you're planning your Easter theme, what you're going to do from a series standpoint. If we could highlight 11 of these and kind of explain some of the thought process and the design process on these, it might be helpful as you're choosing what you're going to do this Easter Sunday. So
yeah, because you're talking about the same thing every Easter, and you're going through a cycle, which is really good. But maybe you're saying to yourself, okay, how do I frame it differently? Because if you think about the resurrection of Jesus, it's almost like a diamond. There are so many different sides to look at this incredible event. And so we want to show you some of the sides to the resurrection that you could talk about this year, as well as some designs. So we'll go through it kind of in a series. We're going to talk about some Easter Sunday designs, and we'll even throw out there some Lent series so that as you're preparing for Easter, you'll be ready for it.
Now, Wade, before we get started in these 11 ideas, will you just give everyone, so Wade here at Ministry Pass is our director of products and our resources, and so will you give everyone a little bit of insight on how these series are created, the team, all of that happens every single month here at Ministry Pass? Yeah,
it's really kind of fun to put together the Easter series because of, we're talking about the same thing, Easter, the resurrection of Jesus. And so what we'll do is we'll kind of brainstorm through some angles, kind of like I mentioned, and then we'll assign sermon series to a bunch of our different writers. I don't know if every single one of our writers create Easter Sunday sermon series for us, but a lot of them do. I would say probably at least half of them do one for us. And so we get different angles. And like I mentioned, we're going to talk about some of those, but we'll give direction on passages to use and scriptures to just kind of go through. And then we send it to our graphic designers, and we really work on creating a number of different color palettes and design palettes for the design, so that it doesn't really matter what church you're from, whether you feel like you're more traditional or contemporary, there's something for you. And in order to give our customers more options, we'll write a number of sermon series and just kind of put those together, and then we'll create even more graphics. So what you'll notice on the site is there is a sermon series content, and you might see it in a couple of different Easter bundles, and the reason is because instead of just giving you 10 each year, we want to give you like 20. So we want to give you multiple options. So you're like, oh, I want to preach using this content, but I want to use that graphic design. So that's kind of how it works as we ramp up. And these are sermon series that I think we started working on them, in the summer. Yeah. So we really take a lot of time to work through those. And
I know the team works really hard. Like you said, we start working on the Easter stuff this summer, prior to, and I'll say this, like Wade mentioned, we've tried to, from an aesthetic standpoint, from a design standpoint, we know we have non-denominational churches, charismatic churches, Presbyterian churches, and everything in between, right? So, and all of your congregations have a different expectation when it comes to the aesthetics, and so what we've tried to do is have a balanced buffet of design options for you. The content, right? It's timeless content. So the content, we may take a different angle, but the content is really tried and true. The design is what, we'll give a few different options on for your particular context. So let's dive right in.
Yeah, so we're going to jump on in. And one of my favorite sermon series for Easter that we've put together this year is called Risen. And the design is
beautiful.
Oh man, it's beautiful. And here's a good example of how design can help you communicate ideas, because you have sort of this dead block in the design and a flower coming out. And that just says so much. So when someone looks at that design, an idea immediately comes to mind.
And we're showing these, by the way. We're going to show all the designs in the series as we go through them.
So you'll see it appear on the screen. And what I love about the content here is it looks at the contrast between the fall at the beginning of the Bible in Genesis chapter 3 and the resurrection of Jesus. So that's a cool angle to look at the resurrection of Jesus. There's another sermon series similar in a way. It's called Made New from Death to Life. And that message essentially says that death does not have the final say. And so many different ways that you can apply the resurrection of Jesus. So you'll notice that you get some different designs, you get some different angles, all telling the same story. The third idea, so we've got risen, made new. The third idea is that we have at the site is just Resurrection Sunday. So just depending on kind of where you're at in your church and what you kind of want to talk about this year, there are all these different options for you. Resurrection Sunday is very straightforward. And
this one's actually part of our lectionary calendar,
It
correct?
is. So it's a part of our lectionary calendar. And you can use it even if you're not using the lectionary. A very clean,
timeless
design,
look.
And it's about the importance of seeking after Jesus. And here's what I love about this sermon series, and it's something that you need to do no matter what series you choose, is on Easter Sunday, instead of just saying, hey, Jesus is risen, that's great. Say, Jesus is risen, that's great. Here's how we kind of live that out. You need to seek after him. You need to live as if the resurrection has happened, and that's what we get here. And then if you just want to go straight forward, and I think that would be a great idea this year too, we have another series that's called Easter Sunday, Life to Life. And this design is one of my favorites as well this year. I love the lettering here, and I love the content because it actually looks at the resurrection of Jesus through the Emmaus Road experience in the Bible. So we hear about in Luke, Jesus is walking with two of his disciples and essentially says, yeah, all of history is about me. And that's a great way to talk about the resurrection of Jesus. So once again, you're looking at the same story, but they're kind of different angles that you can examine it by. So those are some of our Easter Sunday ideas. I also want to go a little bit further, and it's not Easter Sunday, but it's leading up to Easter, so it kind of fits in that.
Yeah.
And that's celebrating Lent. We've been really working hard on the site to provide Lent resources, for our people. We've got some really good ones here.
Yeah, so we have Ashes to Ashes Lent series. It's a 7-week series, and really, this is obviously intended to be utilized during Lent, but it's a time for us to pause and to consider the foundational tenet of our Christian faith, and to consider that we're all sinners in need of Jesus. And so it walks your congregation through this content over 7 weeks. The artwork is beautiful. Ashes to Ashes. You're really going to love it. And we've seen a lot of pastors and churches really interested in Lent type of sermon series the last few years. And so we've dedicated to produce more of that content for you guys.
Yeah, and you'll notice Justin said it's 7 weeks long. So it actually begins on Ash Wednesday, and then it's 6 Sundays. So you have 7 weeks of content. Just depending on how you do it, you might not have a Wednesday night service, but maybe you use that content for a video that you use on Ash Wednesday, you put on Facebook or social media. Now, I'm going to cheat a little bit because you mentioned Ashes to Ashes. This one is kind of in conjunction with that. And I mentioned that sometimes we will produce, and we've had people, they send in suggestions. They say, oh man, I love the content. Give me a couple of design options. That's what we did with Ashes to Ashes. So we have Ashes to Ashes, and then the same content is kind of configured a little bit.
It's a little bit more modern flair on the design.
Yeah, and it's for a series we call Grounding. And really just, like you said, same content. What is that primary focus? What do we have to understand as Christians? We're all sinners. We all need a Savior. So Ashes to Ashes and Grounding are two different options depending on kind of where you're at. Another sermon series that I really enjoy in preparation for Easter that you could do during Lent is called Broken, Preparing for Easter. And this is a 4-week series that looks at the implications of Jesus' death and resurrection. So what does it mean? You ask people in church, you say, oh, did Jesus die and did he rise from the dead? Oh, yeah, of course. But what does that mean? And I love how Broken says we're all broken individuals, but there's someone who doesn't just want to put us back together, but make us new again. So that's a fantastic series. And I love the darker artwork too. And I know, Justin, you kind of tweaked this design a bit for us, and it really communicates the idea that we are lost without Jesus.
Yeah. Another one that we have from our lectionary calendar actually is called Just As He Promised. It's a 6-week sermon series, and it focuses on the promises that God has made to us, and it's a beautiful design, timeless design. I think you're going to really love it for our Reformed brothers and Presbyterian brothers and sisters. Yeah, you'll really like this one.
I like that. I like the design. Very clean. It's probably something that I would want to use. Another one too, and this is just real straightforward. It's called Lent, Remembrance, Repentance, Renewal. And so this is very much a straightforward Lent designed sermon series. Black and purple.
I love this one.
And I think visually it's amazing. And it speaks to our morality, right? Because you talk about ashes to ashes, the morality of all of us, but the hope we have in the new heavens and the new earth. A great Lent series, and it does what Lent's designed to do, to prepare us for Easter. And that's wonderful. Another series, this one's a little different. So we have some people that say, "Oh, I want to do Lent, but maybe I've got another series going on, and so I don't have the full 6 weeks." This is a 4-week series that works before Easter to get people's hearts and minds prepared for Easter. So, in fact, this is really interesting because it's designed to be done 3 weeks before Easter, and the last week is done on Easter. So it's a little bit different than something that we've done in the past. It's called The Road to Easter, and it looks at the different roads that Jesus traveled through his death and his resurrection. So the first week is when Jesus comes into Jerusalem. It's the event we usually call Palm Sunday. Mm-hmm. The next one is the path that he traveled in Gethsemane. The third week of the sermon series is essentially the Via Dolorosa, the path that Jesus traveled to the cross. And then the last week is the Emmaus Road. And so through each of those paths,
I love the content on this one.
Yeah, we really look at the story of Jesus' death and his resurrection. So that's 4 weeks long. That allows you to start 3 weeks before Easter and really kind of end big. And I love the design. I love the content on this sermon series.
You know, and we know this too, right? This has been a unique time, and I won't say unprecedented season. No. Won't go there.
We'll beep you as if you said a cuss word.
Yeah.
If you say that.
Season. But we do know that a lot of churches are going to be emphasizing an online Easter service like we did last year and probably this year. And so we did want to be aware of that and sensitive to that. So we do have some series that we feel like will be really, really great for an online streaming Easter Sunday. Yeah. And one of those is called No Grave.
Yeah, and so what you'll notice is if you search for No Grave on the site, there are going to be 2 bundles that pop up on Ministry Pass. One is going to be straightforward. The other is going to actually have the verbiage for streaming online on it. And so that's something that you can utilize whether you're actually doing an in-service service or online or both, because I know people who are meeting in person will probably still do online. And so what you're essentially saying is, hey, like this is promotion ready-made for you, so you don't even have to mess with the design for this because it says it on there, hey, streaming. And I love the angle, right? No grave can hold Jesus down, and as a result, he's the first.
Grave.
Yeah, he's the first fruits of our resurrection. So a really fantastic series. And then the final, we have 2 that are together. Easter Sunday It has a symbols look, the symbols of the death and resurrection of Jesus. And then we have another Easter Sunday that emphasizes the sun rising, new dawn and new birth. And both of those also have streaming verbiage on them. So there are things that you can use. So I hope that gives you an idea of what to look for on Ministry Pass, but also an idea of, okay, what do I actually need to put on the graphic so my people know, is this online? Is this in person? Is this both? So be thinking through that as you look through the site and as you prepare and plan for your Easter service.
Now, these are just 11, right? If you've never been to ministrypass.com, we have over 1,000 sermon series, and that's going up every single month.
Yeah.
But if you go to the site and you go to the sermon series and you just do a search for Easter, you're gonna pull up dozens of options there for you, and we know surely one will fit your church personality, your context, and sort of the visual aesthetic, right, that your church is used to seeing. So, and of course, all of these series, they come with the framework, the content. Wade mentioned we have a team of writers, we have researchers, and Pastor, we know, writing a sermon, creating a sermon series requires lots of different skill sets, and a lot of times the pastor is wearing all of those hats. And what we've aimed to do is to come alongside you and be your research team, have a team that can help write some frameworks. And we're not writing the sermon for you. I mean, that's your unique voice, right? But we are giving you some frameworks, some talking point ideas, some sermon illustrations you can use, a really great foundation of content for you to then to add your own voice and your unique perspective, maybe some of your own personal illustrations and experiences to that. So it's your sermon, but nonetheless, we've really saved you several hours on design and media and video stuff. We've saved you several hours on research, and we've given you a great starting place. And so I know Wade's team works hard every single month. And Wade, I know your team has been working a lot on Easter, and we're so grateful for everyone that's put in the work so that churches literally all around the world are the beneficiaries of your team's hard work. So thank you for that. And if you've never signed up for Ministry Pass, you can actually sign up for a free trial. It's free to log on. You can download stuff, check it out, take a look. Maybe you've wanted to or thought about it, and Easter would be a good opportunity. Let's just start with Easter, go download some stuff, and see if it helps you, if it saves you some time. And we'd be honored for your church to use our Easter resources this Easter.
Yeah, make sure to tweet your takeaways for the episode, #HelloChurchPod. Questions, comments, you can also comment on the YouTube thread. Justin, we're giving away a Ministry Pass Arctic mug, and all you have to do to be entered in the drawing is just review us on Apple iTunes. So just search Hello Church Pod, give us a review. We're going to go through. You don't even need to send us a picture of that review. We're going to go through and we're going to get all the ones that have been created. We'll throw out the 1 stars and the 2 stars and the 3 stars and the 4 stars maybe. Maybe we'll just take the 5. No, we'll take all of them and then we'll just pull out and we'll declare a winner, and you'll get a nice Ministry Pass coffee mug. And every time you drink coffee, you think about us.
And whatever you do, don't mention the Arctic mug in the review. #Arctic mug contest.
Yeah, don't do that. I don't know if
is that against the terms?
Probably not. No, because we're saying be honest.
Be
honest.
Be totally 5-star honest.
Be totally honest. Next episode, we're going to be talking about this incredible resource that we have through Seminary called the Preacher's Handbook.
Man.
This is crazy. Woo. This is crazy, and this is going to be helpful for seasoned pastors, new pastors, youth pastors. It's going to be a fantastic episode, and we're going to tell you how you can get that handbook, something we've been working on for probably years. There's years worth of content.
It's over 100 pages. I'll just say that.
Yeah.
And it's going to be, like Wade said, whether you're a seasoned pastor or new to preaching, this is a handbook all about preaching, delivery, techniques, writing techniques, all sermon preparation. All of that is going to be in a handbook that we're getting ready to release. And so we're really excited about it.
It's going to be great. And it's really going to help you out during just kind of certain times in ministry. Yeah, it's wonderful. So we will talk to you next time on Hello Church. Make sure to leave us a review. We're going to pull out, all the reviews out of a hat, and we're going to give you that Arctic mug. We'll see you next time, though, on the Hello Church podcast.